Okay, so I think we're good. Once more, good evening, everyone. You're welcome to this program, Reinvention program. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate everyone. I don't take it for granted. So why are we doing this program to start with? Yes, I want women to come together because I have noticed that our society, please can you mute yourself as soon as you come in? Thank you. Our society promotes, let me use that word, competition in women instead of collaboration. And that's why we see, women are always in competition with one another. You see a woman enter a gathering, and the first thing you try to check her out and see what she's wearing, which label is she wearing, which card does she bring. That's why they say that people don't, women don't dress for men, they dress for other women, So I'm just like, okay, we have a lot more going for all of us. Is there where we can come together and collaborate? That's just one of the reasons. But the main reason why we're having reinvention is because I realize that many women are going through a lot. And because society also tells us that we're strong, like our mothers. Our mothers are strong, and they will say, oh, why are you complaining now? Well, our mothers, they stayed in their marriages, they this, they that, they are strong. As a woman, you're supposed to take it all. Okay, I'm not saying you're not supposed to take it all, but taking it all from a teenager, even from a girl child, until you go into womanhood, that's a lot. Women go through a lot. Oh goodness, I think we're having, that was some electricity spark, I think. Okay, so so I think that we should help one another as we are coming up. So this is one of the reasons why we have a group like this. People who have already passed through a stage can help others. For example, I'm very particular about reinvention, and I'm very passionate about it because it was my experience, and it was something that I was just lucky to come out through. I was in a rut, and by rut I mean that I was actually close to, I became suicidal at a point that I wanted to end it all. And you get to a point where everything is gloomy, like every part of your life, you're like, nothing is working. And you're asking questions. I am more than this. I believe I can do better than this. I believe I deserve more than this in life. But unfortunately, let me say, the hand that life has dealt you at that point is not showing you, it's not giving you that vibes. And it really happened to me. I reached rock bottom, and I was very close to losing it. And it was just the grace of God that brought me up. And I realized all through those periods, everybody thought I was fine. Okay. Everybody thought I was okay. In fact, some people even envied me because they were just looking at me from afar. They didn't know what I was passing through. And one day, that was the epiphany for me, the day that I decided that I'm going up from here. And that day, let me tell you what happened as we wait for Jumoke. That day, I was in a very dark place, that period. And I was with my kids in the living room. We were watching a cartoon, well, not really a cartoon, but it's a film. I'll call it a cartoon. And in that movie, the cinema, I'm not sure if you have watched it, titled, please mute yourself as you enter. Thank you. Okay, let me just mute. Okay, I don't care. So this cinema owner was, having a tough time too with his business, and everybody used to be very successful, and then he's no longer successful. People were mocking him, which, coincidentally was my story that time. It was a cartoon, but it was speaking directly to me. And he lost it all. And his friend was trying to cancel him. He also wanted to throw in the towel then. And the friend said, you know what? At this point, the only place you're going from here is up. You can't go downer than this. Let me use that word. You know, we have down, downer, downest. You know, you can't go lower than this. The only place you're going from here is up. And that like triggered something in me and I told myself that, can you get lower than this? You know, I was like up here before, and then I'm low like this, no source of income, no hope of getting anything. Everything seemed gloomy. I don't know if it's happened to you before that you're like, why is everything happening at the same time? When they say everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong, it did for me. And at that moment, I was like, look at you. You're better than this. You are coming back up. And that was when I started my reinvention journey. And it surprised a lot of people because I came out just like this. And because I'm usually not someone who is very vocal, and, you know, I'm a very private person. I like to work behind the scenes. And so it surprised quite a number of people that where's all this coming from? And I remember quite vividly that one of my acquaintances, she said something, I put it in my left hand that day. She said, what is up with you? It's like you have a new lease of life, something. And I said, yeah, you got it. I have a new lease of life. It was as if I just removed the cloak of that old person and I started. And a lot of things that I considered impossible began to be possible for me going forward. And since then, you don't want to believe what I've done with myself. Sometimes I look myself and I'm just like, I'm super proud of you. Okay, I've reinvented myself time and time over in my career, in my personal life. And the things I do now, I surprised myself. I ventured into tech, like I said in my post, in my 40s. And I'm competing very well with people that are much younger, some older. I'm competing globally, something I couldn't do before. And, you know, I mean, there was one interview that I did that I was like close. I didn't get the job, but I was very, very close. And the interview had to tell me that, look, I'm proud that you came this far. We never had any African come this far before. And I'm like, hey, me no. You know, so I moved away for a while. If you notice, for people, thank you for everyone that's around. A lot of people know me from way back here. And so people kept asking, what's up? Are you okay? You've been offline. I've been busy behind the scenes. I've been reinventing myself. So I'm not coming up to tell you what I've not been doing. However, recently it just came to me that, look, yes, you think that you found, you want to bury yourself in tech, but no. Your calling is still back to this women where you started. And even if you are reinventing yourself, you have to help them also reinvent themselves. So this is me saying, okay, there's a way out, and we can't just stay in one place. Reinvention, I was at a gathering recently with a mentor, and she mentioned specifically that the reason why she's been that long and she's been thriving is because she kept reinventing herself. She's in her 60s. And when we talk about this reinvention, I have women in their 60s that are also learning tech that I'm coaching. Okay, I think Jumoke is around. So basically, reinvention is about how you package yourself for the next level. If you're in a good place, if you're in a dark place, how you leave that place. I have a lot of women that have helped come out of dark places. And I've been doing this since 2016. And I just felt that, yes, let us take it to another level. Let us collaborate more. Let us see how we can come together and help one another and share our story. So coincidentally, I didn't even plan that Jumoke, but when I asked Jumoke, and I'm like, goodness, there's a reason why God wanted Jumoke to be the first speaker. Jumoke deals with waste. Jumoke turns scrap, things we have, thrown away and considered as useless. Jumoke makes something beautiful out of this thing. I was like, God, isn't this so symbolic? Why Jumoke of all people? Jumoke never gives up. If you get to Jumoke's house, she now even has a waste museum, the first in Africa, but she's there to tell us our story. So without further ado, let me invite Jumoke. Jumoke, can you unmute? Okay. Can you unmute Jumoke? Can I see you?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, I can see.
I'm right there. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can see you. I can see you in your customary uniform and your peculiar. Thank you, Ma, for that comment. And your peculiar mode of dressing, and especially that your cap. You're always unique. Thank you very much for honoring this gathering. Thank you for what you're doing. I read a bit about you when I was placing the ads, but let me just do a brief introduction. If you saw the bio she sent, I'm like, goodness gracious. Hey, this my girl has gone global.
My briefest. Shortest
exactly.
bio.
People told me it's very brief. I'm like, this one too brief.
The one that I have not updated in the last 3 years.
Goodness. Wow. Anyway, we thank God. So Jumoke, as you can see, she's very friendly, full of life, and very amiable. When you see her, she's always, bubbly. Okay. So now I knew Jumoke from way back, and I kind of followed her story. And I'm so impressed about how far God has brought her. She started with, I think I knew her when she was, but she's always had it in her. Way back, we met at some conferences for women and everything. And she never gave up, even though she had her own challenges too. So Jumoke, can you just briefly, she owns the first waste museum in Africa. You're still going to tell us that story, how you came about that. Okay. And how you become so famous today, how CNN and all these all international media houses are running after you to hear your story. So can you just briefly introduce Jumoke?
Okay, my name is Jumoke. Moya said so much about me already, so I'm just here to just give you the briefest that I can do. My name is Jumoke. I've lived all my life in Ibadan. I was born here in Ibadan. I hope you can hear me. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you, but let's get feedback from others.
Okay. So just, if you can hear me, just say cha-cha-cha in the comment section. Because we're going to be doing this together. I'm not alone here. Just type cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Anyhow you can spell it, whether it's with a C or with an H. Just say cha-cha-cha-cha-cha in the comment section so that I will know that it's not me that is talking to myself. Cha-cha-cha. Aha. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. So now I know that the people are following me. My name is Jumoke. My name is, I call myself Olowowaste now.
Yeah.
Because I am turning waste into anything and everything that you can think of. But basically what I do is I have the capacity to see waste, not as waste, but as treasure. And that was not what I did in school, actually, because my story of waste is actually a reinvention of myself. Like Moyo, like I met Moyo, just seeing you guys. I've lived all my life in Ibadan. I was born here, primary school Ibadan, secondary school Ibadan. I went to University of Ibadan, met my husband there, we got married here, gave birth to 4 children in Ibadan. My business is here in Ibadan, and I've lived all my life here. But my parents are not from here. Both of them are from Abeokuta. But Ibadan is the only home I have known. And I'm very, very passionate about Ibadan and everything that has to do with Ibadan. And so that is like my story in a short brief. I don't know how much you want me to introduce myself. Maybe I should just go on and then you pick your questions in between, or I should stop right here?
I think you should stop right there and let's just dive, because I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
How do I say this in English?
Okay. So I have 4 children, twins inclusive.
Yeah,
in the middle.
She's also Mama.
I live in Monia.
Yeah.
The Ibeji that I asked for, the way I asked for them, a boy and a girl, non-identical, both left-handed. Wow. And that's how I got them.
Lucky you. Okay. Okay, let's just get to the meat of it, Jumoke. So yes, now, I mean, you just came back from Lagos from one conference. I saw it on your page. You are like the boss and your errand there. But did it start like that? I want you to tell us how this journey actually started for you.
The journey of what I'm doing presently now started for me. I was just a regular. I didn't have any background of skill, of hands, of what I do now. It's in school. I was just a regular, somebody somewhere, a mother, a wife, trying to make. I go to church, I go to work, come back home. That was just me initially. And then several years ago, when I gave birth to my twins, I was home on maternity leave. And for the first time, I noticed the waste, that I was generating, and it caught my attention. Sometimes a lot of us inspirations, they can come anyhow. They can come while you are awake on the street. But many of the times when we get such inspirations, we don't pay attention to them. And once you don't pay attention to them, you cannot. And the way the inspirations normally come is that it comes one step at a time. It's just like somebody, let me try and give you a scenario. If somebody throws, somebody ties a sweet and it throws it, if you take a pause and look at the sweet, and then maybe you pull the rope, and then you follow the rope, and then he pulls more, he follows the rope, he pulls more. So the way inspiration comes, that I've noticed, that I've realized through my own experience, is that when an inspiration drops, if you don't and you don't pursue it, and you don't try to, let me see what it's going to give me. Let me try and explore it, get to unfold the next wrapper. It was for me. The first inspiration that came to me was, first of all, noticing the waste. The waste I was generating in my kitchen, the waste I was coming from my house, from my building. And at the same time, the waste manager that was in charge of gathering the waste in my company, in the house that had like 4 duplexes, and my landlord at the back, so 6 families in that company. It was a very big company, like. And so it was at that same time that my waste manager came and said, "Oh, you guys have to pay me more for carrying your waste, or else you look for how you're going to reduce your waste." So I had to call everybody to sit down and say, "You know what? I'm not going to pay for anybody taking my waste. So let everybody reduce the waste." And so the waste, me identifying the waste that we were generating and trying to reduce it, was my first inspiration. But while asking questions, what else can we do with the waste? What can we? That question. People that was even asking were even asking me, "Are you okay? What is waste meant to be used for, if not to be thrown away? Why are you asking us what should we do with waste? Why are you asking us not to throw waste away? What is waste meant to be used for, if not to be thrown away?" So imagine my dilemma. But I did not give up, because I felt my attention, then I need to pay it attention. And I need to look for what I can do with it, so that, because it was disturbing me.
Okay, let me just cut you short here, Jumoke, because I have a lot of questions for you. So tell us about a moment in your life when you felt down and out, or when you felt hopeless.
When I fell down and out.
Yes.
So many moments, so many.
Okay.
So down and out.
Think of the least, the lowest moments.
Okay, I think the lowest moment for me was when we had to leave all that we moved from where we were, like back to zero.
Wow.
I was living in Bodija Estate. I was living in a duplex. The duplex was in a big space, like a 1 acre. I had access to like a full plot, my flat that I was using for my garden. And I remember it was a quick notice, and the quick notice was 7 days, because my landlord does not like me, but because we couldn't pay our rents. We couldn't pay rent, everything was down, we were owing school fees, we were owing so many, we were owing everybody that we could owe. And the hardest moment for me was leaving my garden. Not actually even the house, but I had invested so much into my garden. I had over 100 species, ornamental and food. There is no kind of vegetable that you're looking for in my garden then. Vegetables that you cannot find in the market, like ebolo or dundun, elegede, abereoro, tomato eleju. I have them in my garden.
I have never heard of this.
And you have not heard of all these vegetables.
Some of them,
these are beautiful antioxidant vegetables that you cannot find in the market, like yori. Have you heard of ebolo? Have you heard of elegede?
Yes, I know elegede, but I don't know yori and
now all these vegetables I just planted them in my garden, and I had to move out in 7 days.
Wow.
I just planted yam, my tomato, it was so green and it filled up the whole fence, and I could not harvest them. I had to move out, and I had to leave. My yellow bush was already an edge. I just finished trimming. I just opened a right in my flat to leave everything behind and move to Moniya that looks like dead end. That looks like I was abandoned, because what I said when I was moving to Moniya was, give me anywhere that I could get the cheapest house. I am moving. And I moved. I couldn't anymore. The church that I've been attend, because I did not even have transport when to come back. My children couldn't go back to their regular school. I had to look for a cheap school around to put them in. That was my lowest point.
Thank you very much. I wanted you to talk about this, and I'm very happy you went into details, because, I mean, women go through a lot, like I said earlier, and it's possible that a lot are going through what you're going through at this moment. And I can actually relate very well, because I was at this point too. You know, when you mentioned zero, that is what describes it perfectly. When you are back at, ground, you're not even back at, what do we call it now, square one. You are back at square zero. And you're like, how am I going to pick up the pieces of my life? You get. So I've been there. I didn't lose my job. I left my job. I thought I had expectations that didn't work, and I just went to zero in life. And I was shocked myself. And the reality is, it's different when you talk about it, but the reality is very, very grueling. When you're able to afford certain things before and you can't afford them again. I lost so I didn't have my official car. My personal car was grounded, so I couldn't even go out. And even it was so bad that sometimes I also wouldn't have transport fare, like you mentioned. And I'll be like, how did I even get here? I would want to eat something, but I can't eat what I want because I just can't afford it. I had to eat what I could see. And so it might look like, looking back now, it looks like something that was fine back in the past, but that is some people's reality now. And we are thanking God for how far He has brought us, because He's still taking us further. But I'm glad that you pointed it out that it's not all rosy, and it's not been all rosy. And you are being very realistic and down to earth to say, this happened to me and I passed through it. So please, let's just continue. So now, please, I just want you to follow that story. So what happened? What was that moment of breakthrough for you?
Well, when I was leaving my comfort zone, I did not go alone. I remember there was a particular night I came downstairs. I was staying in a duplex. It was an upstairs. I woke up in the middle of the night. I came downstairs, and the thought of my heart was, God has forgotten me. I remember very vividly that thought, and I'm like, oh, more, sure, has forgotten me, because if He has not forgotten me, this problem is too much. These issues are too much. As I'm trying to come out from one, I'm entering another. As I'm trying to sort one, another one is coming in. Too much like this. But guess what? Came downstairs with my Bible, got to the sitting room, and I flipped it open. And guess where I opened to? I never knew that place was even in the Bible. I just flipped, and I flipped to Isaiah. And it said, Isaiah, the Lord has forgotten me. I dropped the Bible. I said, I looked around like as if, did anybody hear me when I was coming downstairs? I was talking to myself now. Nobody was awake. So I flipped it and I closed it and I opened it back again and I checked again. I said, and Zion say, the Lord, so I got up, I took a Bible and I climbed on Zion and I changed it to Jumoke. And then I read further down and he said, a mother forget a suckling babe.
Oh.
Yes, she can.
Yeah.
He said, but I said, yeah, but I, the Lord, I you, I will never forsake you. Only I even had you to food. No, that was not the first one I read. Said, I even had you inscribed on the palm. Your walls are continually before me. I started screaming. I started screaming like as if I won a jackpot. Yeah, yeah. God is with me. God is with me. That was my first initial breakthrough. I did not, the bigger the problem was, the bigger I was feeling lonely. But when I found it turned my life around, I realized that I was not alone. Second, I realized that God has not forgotten me. And then he now inscribed. When I was not looking at that word, inscribed, and I brought up my other Bible in other translation. And then I found I even had you tattooed on top. I said, she bani kama she tattoo ni. Baba call come no tattoo. O tattoo come so well. Oh more. That gave me anything. That gave me confidence to again. The day I got that word, I just changed my perspectives. I knew that God was in that problem with me. He will never leave me. He will never forsake me because my before him. But guess what? The day we were moving from that place, I got another word. He said, I will go ahead of you. I will be at your rear guard and I will be beside you. Please, what else does anybody need? That was my turning point. What gave me confidence. That was what made me realize who I was, I am, who I will be. And so I was moving a state of despair, a state of what I should be crying. With power. I moved with passion. I moved with the mindset and the confirmation that I was not alone, that God was with me. So I moved into Monia with that. And immediately I got into Monia, I hit the ground running, knowing fully Almighty Papa, he did with me. Thank you.
Jumoke, let me come in there. About this hit the ground running thing. There's something that happens to you when you have that epiphany, when you get to that bridge, that drive. I want us to talk more about this drive. There's a drive you get when you get that new lease of life, like I spoke about, that you will be running and people will wonder what is chasing you. This hit the ground run. You say everyone that knows you're always there. Every program, you are there, you are this, down everywhere. Jumoke she will network, she will do this, and she's always bustling. And you wonder that what is up with this girl? And I remember that I did that also. Immediately, I had that turnaround. I had a baby, a 6-month-old baby. I had a fellowship in Lagos then. I would go from Lagos to Ibadan every month. I would hire a nanny to go with my baby. I was only one carrying baby in the fellowship. We did that at Lagos Business School. And I would go there. And I was the one that opened their creche. The first creche like this, it was my baby and the nanny I would put there. I would run upstairs, do the course, come back. One of the facilitators one day said, this woman, what is chasing you? I said, something is chasing me, and then I'm chasing something. It's two ways. It's not, it's not only chasing, So I would travel every day, every other. And when I started coaching, so I was just doing it, and people were like, what is up with you? There's something that comes upon you when you begin that reinvention journey, when God prompts you and puts you up. You're just like running and trying to catch up for lost time. And so I just want to dwell a bit on that. Now, this is a very interesting question that I want you to answer, Jumoke. When you started, did you get any, what was the support like from your family and friends when you started and you had, because I remember PP40. That was 5 years ago, not so? When you turned 40,
yeah,
I did PP40 and you went to 40 schools, I think?
yes.
Yes, 40 schools.
You're very correct.
Yeah. So you know,
My
with waste and everything. So I'm like, what perspective did you get from people when you started using waste to do stuff and you were going from school to school? Can you tell me about that? Did you get the desired support? Did you
my waste journey, my waste journey did not start with PP40. It had started several years before that time. Yeah. So I was already doing, when I started, people, friends. Because we go to parties, I really want to be picking plastic bottle when everybody's done. They'll be like, share, show, okay. I don't get shame. So if I see any waste around me that I know that I can turn into wealth, I know they look face, I'll just walk up to you and say, I need it. And they will like, what do you want to use it for? Sometimes most of the time, I don't even know what I want to use it for. I'll just let you know I need it. I will use it for craft. And then they're looking at me like, is this woman normal? I know they send. So initially, people around me did not understand it because even what I'm doing, I didn't know what to do, pushing me to continue going. And so if myself, I did not understand what I'm doing, how did I expect people to understand what I'm doing with me? So I wasn't looking at anybody not supporting me. But my immediate family supported me because at least they gave me that space and I was able to keep all my jaga. I was able to keep them in a room because, model. Oh, no. There's nothing I did not pack. There is nothing I did not think, I did not, So I had support from my family because anything that I see that catches the family, pali juice, agolo nan, chukwabado, there is nothing I did not keep in that initial year. And, fast forward, I've always had that immediate family. Is my friends that were confused. Some few friends at some point when they realized I was still doing it, after like several years, when they say anything related to anything waste, they'll share with me. They were gradually realizing that, oh my, you might change. Oh my, And so over the time that my friends could understand, but my loved what I was doing, my husband, everything was going on smooth like that. They gave me space. They allowed me to explore because even me, I was confused. I didn't know what to do. So as I was trying to teaching myself. And I remember when I started as a vision at international school, that was even grace of God because it was the practical camp that we were doing that the parents brought our daughter. I thought the daughter was not going to stay. That parent now is now my mentor, Mr. Adora Ayuade. I had to leave that place worship of theirs to come here now. They're still expecting me back for that place. She has been very supportive. She was like a backbone for me because when I did not even know what I had, she just kept pushing me, kept giving me, just kept giving me jobs. She would come and in my mind, I'm like, are you sure So despite the fact that many people didn't understand me, God placed strategic people before me that can guide me. I remember she was the first person that took me to Ibadan International School, and not only took me there, she told her that we are taking Jumoke. And me, foolish me, I got to the interview. I was telling them, giving them all the excuses of why they should not take me.
Wow.
Myself, they had already did all the background job and say, we're taking her. I've seen what she can do. She's our next art teacher. Me, I got to the interview. A Canadian was there, a Nigerian was there, and one other woman. I was telling them, I said, I don't even know what is primary color. Hello, they want to hire me as art teacher. I'm telling my interviewer that I don't know what is primary color. I don't know what is hard. Is that not madness? Why? Because I had taken the Nigerian Army form. I wanted to join the army. I was not planning to come to their school to come and do any art. So I did not want to disappoint her for me inviting me. That was how I went. So as they were saying, do you know this one? I was saying, no, I don't know it. So Do you know this one? I don't know it yet, but I can learn.
Ah.
That was what I was saying at the interview. They still ended up hiring me.
Wow.
So imagine if she did not finish that job for me to say, don't worry, I trust her, she can do it. And I ended up working there for 5 years when I was tired.
Wow. Wow.
I worked.
Wow.
Before I started my own business. And then on starting the BP40 project, I did not get support to my sister. It was my food money, my children's food money that I used to start. I wanted to go to 40 public school for 13 months, sponsor until number 21 school. And I won another grant from Bonnyman Art Foundation in the US. But I was there and alone from first school to school.
Okay.
So from the 21st school,
okay,
then I started getting support.
Wow. Until the 24th school before you started getting support. Okay, let me stop there. I made some notes, mental notes, when you were talking. I want us to go back to that part that you said that when you started and people were saying, we are at a party, you are picking something, you are embarrassing us. You mentioned, you said, I did not bother because I was not even expecting anyone to support me. You were that determined. You know, and that's what happens when you are, it's like you're on some sort of drug when you start like that on your reinvention journey. Because there's not, it doesn't matter who supports you. And I remember quite vividly also when I started, in fact, people said it to my face. Some said it behind me. People said it. And, you know, it was that time when, you know, people started calling themselves coaches and everything. And so it was like everybody, every cat and mouse and everything. And someone actually said it to my hearing that everybody's calling themselves coaches nowadays. What are you coaching? Who are you coaching? What do you know? And, you know, that day, I wanted to respond to that person. I just kept quiet. Look, she's not my audience, okay? I'm not sent to her. It doesn't matter whether she supports me or not. It does. And you know, the funny thing is that I didn't even set out to call myself a coach. I just started helping women. And in the group, I ran More Vision for years. I think I have some members there from More Vision. So people were just calling me, oh, Coach Mo, oh, Coach Mo, and it's stuck. And, you know, I was like, oh, why not? It's good for branding. But, you know, people came viciously for me. I remember when I started out and they were like, okay, for you to become a coach, what are your certifications? What are your this? Which school did you go? You heard Jumoke now. She went for an interview. She did not even know binary colors. She did not even know, but she had that drive and she had the push from God and she kept on going. I also want to add here that when you start, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be smooth. She said also that at the point, she didn't even know what she was doing herself. She just knew that I'm doing this thing. So you could see that it's drive down in my way because I'm looking for a better word. You know, you could see it in her and the way she carries herself that, look, I'm going to give it whatever it takes. When I started to, I will do some posts, I'll do some flyers that look very, when I look back and I'll be like, I made this flyer, yeah, I did this, you know, but I did not care. That time, I was just like, I'm coming out, whatever it takes. I'm not staying down anymore. I'm coming up. So you will get to that point where people will be like, what are you up to? Who do you think you are? Where are you coming to? And if you're not careful, they're pushing you back into that bottomless pit. You have to stand firm and say, look, I know where I'm coming. I like this. There's one song that I've forgotten how it sings, but the basic lyric of that song is, I'm the one that understands the reason why I'm praising God this way. So you're the one that know where you're coming from. She mentioned where she's coming from. So if something is chasing you, don't look at
Thank
you. That exactly. That is not even the song, but that basically that's what the song says. This other one is sung by a woman. You know? Yeah, I remember something like yeah, that song. You know, so I know where I'm so thankful. I know where I'm coming from. And when you have that at the back of your mind, you will not look at people saying you're not good enough, you're not doing this enough. I got a lot of criticism. Some were positive, some were negative, but I did not let it stop me. I was so focused on helping women, and I'll do it anyhow until I got it. I don't think I've still gotten it. I'm still improving, but it will never stop. So please don't let it stop you. Don't ever get to a point where you're like, oh, look, maybe this is not my cup of tea. If Jumoke had said that, she won't be collecting all these awards today. She won't be having all these interviews today. She won't be getting all these grants today. If she had been like, people are looking at me, how can I be picking waste up and down? If it's till today, if you still go out with Jumoke, she will pick something on the road. She will see something. She's always seen something that will be useful later. So, but that is how she has made it a way of life, and she's not stopping. So please, I also want us to take note of that when you start, you will see people that want to push you back to where you're coming from. You have to stand firm and say, I'm not going back down. Okay, so Jumi, have you ever had periods where you felt like giving up in your journey? When you actually feel like, hey, bro, I don't think I can go again. Have you?
None. I've not had that time because I was alone. And one thing I realized is that for every journey, I always found God's word. God, for the next step, I will find the word. And once I find that word, or more, nothing else can stop me.
Thank you very much. The God factor, so that is also very important.
I've never got there. I will say I want to give up. I'm down. Anytime I'm confused, I go back and find that word. And once I find that word, I'm on the go again.
Wow. That is your anchor. And that is very important for us to have that anchor. Yes, the God factor, we cannot do without it. And that's a fact. I know that some people don't believe in God, and this is not a religious program, but we cannot leave the God factor out of it. We cannot leave it out of our reinvention journey. Is there someone trying to talk? Okay.
I put sauce to touch.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for telling us that you never had a point that you wanted to give up. Looking back to, I don't think I had low periods where I was like, oh goodness, but not really points where I wanted to like say I'm not doing it again. Okay. So I have another question for you. Where did you find the motivation to keep you going when things get really, really, really tough? The word of God. Do you have, okay, let me put it this way. Apart from the word of God, do you have
find
friends?
The waste itself. The waste itself gives me motivation to go on. Because for every I'm able to say from entering into the landfill is like a personal win for me, and I want to do more. So let's say somebody gives me a job and I end up using 10 and I turn the 10 tires into something beautiful, and the person says, I love this. Once the person picks it and takes it away, I want to do 20 tires. I want to save 20 tires. If I work with bottle covers and I'm able to use 100 bags of bottle covers, and somebody sits there and say, "What?" Just one person, whether a small child or an adult, says, "I love it." That is the next ginger that I need to swagger. Once I can get one person, wow, I love it, is enough. I'm ready. I'm thinking of the next one I'm going to do. So that gives me a lot of motivation, and people's responses to that, once they see it and they say, oh, I love it, even if they don't buy it. Because one of our major challenges when we first started it was that people were not buying. But they were, so I let the admiration, I let it be enough. And I look for other skills that I can use to make money to feed me while I'm waiting for people to buy my heart. You get that?
Thank you very much. I think we also need to try and clarify it here, because this is something that is passionate for you, and it is more like a purpose for you. It is a cause. So it is not just for the money. You actually do love it. We could see, I mean, people meeting you just now could see the passion you have for what you're doing. So it's not just, you're not just doing it for the money. You are sold into it. I was listening to this man, I think Myron Golden, the other day, and he was saying something like, I had to move from a place where I was working just for the money, because that means I wouldn't take a job if I did not measure how much it's going to come in from it. So doing my own job where I just do it for myself, whether I make money or not. And trust me, the money will come. Yes. And that's another thing when you're trying to reinvent yourself or when you're going on this journey. Yes. I mean, it's not, I mean, if you go into it for the money, I'm not going to say don't go into it for the money.
If you go in, it does not come, you will want to stop now because the money is not coming.
Exactly.
I cannot count the number of years that I did this thing without spending money. I will go to my normal, regular 9 to 5 job. I'll collect my salary. I'll buy hard materials and I will use it up and nobody's buying. I did that for several years. So I wasn't in need for the money. I was in need to find a problem that I noticed around me. And that's the problem of something else that somebody would be willing to buy. And it took me several years before somebody could even buy my art or somebody could even pay me. But in that journey, God placed some people around me that will call me and give me jobs that will until my passion started from.
God bless you for that. It is not immediately you start.
And it is because I wasn't lazy. Let me tell you the reason to do that. It is because I wasn't lazy and I was open to learning. So while I was working on my passion, I was learning other things that I could use to generate money. I learned makeup and gele. I have a studio. I was doing makeup and gele for people. I learned bead making. I learned killing you. I learned so many other things. So I was not lazy and I was not sitting down on one spot. Anything learnable, I learned it. Any job available, you will see me there. Call me there. Call me to come and be a carpenter. I will be there. I will be there. So far, it is my God gave them to me. They are blessed. Whatever I do with them shall prosper. My hands are blessed. That's what we've been saying since 2012 when I started my holiday camp. And we're still saying this is my hand. If you can work with your hands, you will not be hungry. And that was the approach I used. So I kept on working. I was doing different things to fund the passion. The passion, God was funding itself.
Wow, that's really amazing. And that's also a story I can relate to because when you start out, and like she said, if you are doing it for the money, you are going to be discouraged because when you even start out and people are wondering that what is wrong with this one, what is she even doing, or what is he doing, and you just be like, like you said, who is going to buy it? She was just making them. When I started coaching, so I was just doing it because I wanted to help women. I did not want women to go through what I went through. When I was going through my rough patch, I wished I had a support group. I wished I had a coach I could run to. I wish I had someone that I could pour my heart to, that could just hold my hand and say, okay, do this first. While you're waiting for this, do this. But I didn't find it. And so when I started, I was talking in groups, I was meeting women, I was just helping women. I was not looking at it. And even when I started charging, I was charging stipends. I remember that someone that was very close to me, a mentor, called me and said, look, when are you going to stop all this, your 2,000 training? You are more than this. Yeah. And one part was like, you see, you should be charging people more. But I'm like, no, I know when to charge, big, but I also know that these women need my help. And that's basically what they could afford at that point. So I'm just making it like, let it not be like you're not paying anything. Okay. So money will come eventually. Okay. Now in my own case now, when I eventually decided to take my own lessons and take my own medicine and started reinventing myself, God opened doors. I would say I stumbled on tech. I just wanted to sell myself to the world during COVID. And if you just saw the way God opened doors for me, today I'm helping women get into tech. And, even if I'm not making money from coaching like that, God has opened my eyes to see, other opportunities along the way. That's one. Two, the goodwill you also get. The goodwill you get when you follow your passion and you just go out to help people. It is part of reinvention. So that might not be your own path. It might just be strictly to make money but you just have God lead you. That might not be your own part, but the goodwill you also get, people saying, you helped me. Every day I will get messages. I have loads of screenshots of people that say, you helped me to do this. Thank you. God bless you because of you, because of you, because of, and I'm like, what do I need again? I mean, at that in 2017, 2016, 2017, if I wanted to go to Lagos, I don't tell people. Because I know that if I go, they'll say, you must come to me. You must come to me. You must come to me. They'll be fighting. You came to Lagos, you did not see me. How can coach come to Lagos? I'm like, who am I? So, when you follow your passion like that and you go on that reinvention journey, there are lots of benefits on the way if you don't give up, if you are consistent. Thank you. I'll round up now so that people can ask questions. So I want to say that I want to ask you that how has reinventing yourself impacted your personal life and relationships? Yes, this journey that you're on.
It has helped me. It has really, really helped me to, first of all, discover myself, discover my strength, discover that I can achieve anything that I set my heart, discover that with God on my side, I can do anything, discover that the only thing that can stop me is myself. It has really, really opened my eyes to the strength that is within me. And it has also taught me that there's coming. And it has given me a lot of convictions, and it has brought me before great men.
I'll say that again.
I can't count the number of people. I went to a this week, and so many people were introducing themselves to me that they are following me, and I'm like, who are they following? Where do they know that I'm going that they are following? If I did not do what I'm doing, I may be one unknown teacher somewhere, struggling to make ends meet, trying to find purpose or whatever. But for every day that I show up on this mission, I always have testimonies, whether from somebody meeting me and talking about how it has impacted their lives, whether somebody meets me and say, oh, they know me, they have been following, they'll be telling me my life story inside my mommy's womb with me, So looking back, I realized that it has given me so much strength. That all this thing that I'm doing is not what I did in school. I didn't do it all through my masters. I went back to school to do all these things is like new life, like a rebirth. Okay, reinvention.
Yeah, absolutely.
A new me. And another beautiful thing about what we do is that every day is a new day. Sometimes we don't even know how the day is going to unfold until when we look back and we say, do you know what we have done today? Do you know the new idea that has come today? Because every day God is giving us new ideas. Every day God is giving us new ideas. And I always tell my people and my workers, I say, I say, we never start anything. We're just like very paraphrasing, very edges. You understand?
I understand.
I can't but be grateful.
Okay.
I can't but be grateful to God for opening my eyes and for pricking my attention and for giving me the stamina. I'm a very timid person, kind of. I can talk, I don't understand what you can talk, but you quick as or load it on. But by having his word to back me up, it gave me confidence, and it actually, okay, let me tell you about when I got the idea of the Waste Museum.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in the waste, I was teaching people, I was going around school, I was alone one day, and I just had it in my spirit, the Waste Museum. So I jumped up, I was like, wow, that's a museum that we can showcase the beauty. Too much people can come in and see all the beauty. That's what I thought somebody was doing it already. That idea is a very good one, although nobody is doing it in Nigeria. I said, so let me see how they are doing the Waste Museum in the other places, so that we can copy. But God was ready to shock me that I tapped my phone and I typed, guess what? cannot be found.
Wow.
So I was shocked. I was like, Waste Museum in Africa. Then he came back again. He said, cannot be found. Then I typed the Waste Museum. It took me to a center in India, Hyderabad, where they use scrap for 7 wonders of the world. That was when it dawned on me that it was a new idea. Nobody has thought of it. If I did not have God's word, if I did not know who I was in God, I will say that idea is for somebody else that is bigger than me, with bigger heads, bigger pockets, bigger connection, bigger intelligence, bigger experience. I would have dropped that idea.
Oh.
Knew what I have. I knew that I may be small, but I have a giant God. And I knew that for him to have given me that idea, he would give me the enablement.
Absolutely.
And it did not happen initially, it did not happen immediately. I was talking, I was almost 4 years before I got also the dream.
Wow.
I sent letters to our local government here, they did not answer. I sent letters to our state government, they did not answer. I wrote an answer. It was the US consulate that answered. God said, no worry. This idea is not a local idea.
It's not
an
local
international idea.
Preach it.
So what are we talking about?
Tell us
what
more
are we
about
talking about?
Museum.
As he said it, can you not do it? As he said it, can you not do it? Can he give you an idea and he will not give you the backing and the enablement to do it? No, he will. If he gives you that idea, back it up. He will back it up with evidence. He will back it up with helpers. He will raise helpers for you. But just keep talking about it. Keep pushing. Keep working on it. And one day the helper will just walk in by themselves. Helper that you are not even expecting, who know me, who is. But God raised helpers. When the US ambassador wanted to come to the Waste Museum, I did not have anything, any say in it. They called. Mama said she's coming to the Waste Museum. I'm like, who? He said, the ambassador. I said, the US ambassador to Nigeria, coming to Monia.
Wow. You brought the world to Monia. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what
yes,
happens when that's what happens when you reinvent yourself with the backing of God. Wow. So tell us how big the Waste Museum is.
What are we? The Waste Museum is not a big space, so it's a small space. It's not even up to 1 plot.
I'm not talking about space. I'm talking about impact and the kind of people that come there.
In the last 2 years that we have been officially open, I cannot even begin to tell you how many number of guests that we have hosted, both international, local, Nigeria. People are coming. We need more space, because people are beginning to jam now. I don't want them to jam.
Wow.
So we are moving to a bigger
space. People are beginning to jam.
What's in jam? I need the bigger space. Go Bawamo.
God is going to give you a bigger space. I want to ask you a very important question, Jumoke. What would have happened if, in your moment of despair, that time that you were given 7-day quit notice and you had nowhere to go, if you are thrown in the towel and you're like, you know what, whatever it is, I just, whatever life throws at me, I'm just going to take it like that. What would have happened to this big vision? If you had resigned,
it will have died on.
Exactly.
It will have died. It will have died on arrival now. Which one is mission? What is the mission? Was the mission as clear as this then? Maybe it was just a name. It was a name now. Don't forget, I tell you that when the idea will come, it will come if it is a word. When you next word will show up.
Wow.
When you grab that word, actually it will turn to a sentence. Then another sentence will form. Another sentence will form. Then it will become a paragraph. This was not the vision that I was the name that I kept on working on it. And it started getting clearer. Don't forget that I was doing now. So which mission? Once you now recognize that idea, once you did not recognize that prompting, it is dead on arrival.
Wow.
Completely dead. Not unravel. It's like somebody that too. Was it not a baby that will grow up and become a president? Did the baby look like a president?
No. No.
It was just a one small tiny ponkolo finger like this that is doing like this, like this. So it is when you work on the vision, and believe God for it, that is when you can keep on day by day, showing like it is, like that.
Thank you. I like that
You
word.
get?
I like that sentence. When you work on the vision. So you need to work on the vision.
You need to, when the vision comes, it will not look like the vision. It will look like a suggestion. It will look like an idea. It will look like a phrase. It may not even be a completed sentence. It may just be a name. It may just be a word. It's not going to, it did not look like a vision. Sis? Vision ke. Kojo vision. Vision. Kojo vision is at the Waste Museum. Awesome. We could. Museum. Okay. From there, Lodi go person multiply. Lodi go person fi gbogbo atasi mo yo si new issue boss new issue wale. That's what that's how. It was just a word.
You are such a vibe. Where did Asaro come into this place now? But I get your point, Zari. Oh goodness. Okay, so I want to ask another question. A tricky question. What certificate did you use to start your vision, your journey? Which school did you go for it? Which certificate did you bring up? The solutions you're bringing to people? Did they ask for your certificate that I want to see your qualification before you come and do this job?
Let me shock you. Let me shock you. I did French, first degree UI. Then I did, please, is it related to environment?
No,
I said
not.
I did
French.
Environment. Is it related to both?
No.
But guess what? Today at the Waste Museum, we take NYST, we take corpers, they come to serve with us. We take master students from University of Ibadan.
Wow.
They will intern with us for months, 2 months, 6 months. We take PhD students from all over Nigeria that comes to us to do their PhD work that is referred by their lecturer.
Wow. To do their research.
What we're doing. Do you know what we're doing? Practical of the theory they are doing in 5 years in the university. While if I met in the University of, it's not Kwekwe University of Ibadan, not the students alone, even they are coming to see the practical side of what they are doing is. And I do not have any qualification to do that. I will stand in front of all the professors and all the lecturers, and I will be telling them the practical side of what they are doing in their school.
Wow. Look, there's a reason I asked that question. I want to point it out.
Learning by doing.
Wow.
Learning by doing. Learning by experience. Experience. Learning by doing. What they are reading about and studying for 5 years in theory, that's what I'm living every year, every day.
Wow.
So now we are even saying, we have started saying no. We have started saying number of couples that want to come, number of faculty students that want to come and do internship, number of master students. We are saying no, we don't have space.
Wow. Just look at this, God. Just look at it. Just look at the possibilities that could have been wasted if she had just, not.
So if you're looking for qualification, I have none. And nobody has ever been able to ask me that what is my qualification. Because my work is going ahead of me.
Wow. Now let me come in here. There's a reason I asked that.
Just this year alone, I've gotten 5 awards from faculties.
Wow. And we are still in March. Hey, we are still in March.
And we're in March. Just So I'm standing before mere men. No.
Wow.
When
Wow.
the Bible says the gift of a man will make room for him,
For
he will
him.
stand before kings and not before mere men.
Absolutely.
That's my story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jumoke. I want to emphasize on this certificate issue because a lot of times we let it, pull us down. I used to tell my women that, look, people want results, not certificates. In all my life, all the work I have done, nobody has asked me that bring your certificate. I want to see your certificate. In fact, if you know where it is now, it's smelling. I don't bring it out. Nobody asks for my certificate. And so when I started coaching, and people were like, where is your certificate? In fact, I deliberately did not go and do all these popular courses here and there because it is the gift and the talent you have in you. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against certificates. I have a master's degree. In fact, I even started my PhD and dropped out after 4 years. So I'm all for getting all the degrees and certificates. But see, when you get on the path that God wants you to be, certificates will not matter. Look at her. Look, I used to tell my women that all the work I'm doing for you, all the training, the coaching I'm doing for you, are you getting results or not? They say yes. How many of you have asked for my certificates? No one. So please don't let it be, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified. God qualifies whoever he calls. If you see the women I coach, women that are bono, not only, sorry for those who don't understand Yoruba, with people that are beyond me, far beyond me, in education, in age, in achievement, everything. But they're just like, there's something in you, you have something, I want to sit down with you. Women that have spent years in the corporate section are like, come, I want to have a strategy session with you. And I'm like, me? I did not go for it, any training in school. My whole training and education has been in editing and publishing. So I didn't do any formal training in coaching. I just knew that God brought me through to help other women through. And I ran with that vision. I did not wait for anybody. If God has already qualified you, you don't need anybody to give you certificate again. And that's a fact. Yes, you can go and add to your knowledge. Knowledge is different from certificate. Don't let's mix it up. I read a lot. I learn every day. I have people I follow. I watch their content. So I keep myself up to speed. But don't let certificates hold you down from solving problems around you. She solved problems around her. Today, people with certificates are coming to her to come and learn. They are doing NYSC. They are doing PhD research. Wow. That's just super amazing. Because of our time, because I want us to close at 9:30 and I still know people will want to ask questions. So let me just ask this last question then. Okay, what advice would you give anybody who is starting afresh? Because, and I am very particular about this starting afresh because I started afresh too. I practically lost everything. I lost every material thing. I lost my pride. I lost my self-esteem, and I almost lost my life. So it was like starting from scratch. And I remember that the very first program I did, in fact, that made many people, come and join me, was, I called it Scratch. And it was for women who are starting back from scratch after, falling in quotes. And I want you to advise women like that, okay, they've been up there, they've had things going for them and they were confident in it, and life happened and they had to start afresh, start over. What advice do you have to them? They want to reinvent themselves now. What advice do you have to such women tonight?
Well, my advice is you can. That's it. You can. You can start over. Whether you're 20, you're 30, you're 40. I started over when I was 39. That was when I had my reinvention.
Wow.
I mean, so you can start anytime. You have to first of all know, because it is when you think you cannot that you will not be able to do it. But when you start with that attitude of I can, that is when your brain will even be open to receive inspirations that God is trying to throw at you. Decide that you want to start all over. That is the time that you should start. Wow. Don't waste your time trying to make it perfect. Don't try to understand. Don't try to make sure that everything is settled, everything is sorted out. I'm not going to tell you to leave your hard-paying job with 5 children in your room and sack your boss. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling you to jump in. I wanted to say, I want you to jump into the river. But my jumping into the river is not that you should leave your job, sack your boss, sack your landlord overnight. No. Be willing to invest time, prayer, trainings on whatever it is that you want to do. You must find a word, because that really helped me. You must find, I believe that it is even easier now, because under the world, though, my sisters, my brothers that are here tonight, there's nothing new under the world. Whatever it is that you think you want, if you bring out your phone like I did and just type that thing, you'll be shocked that you will see many other people that are starting fresh like you. We've had stories of people that started a new career when they were 70 years old. McDonald's started when? Very retired. He was done. He was a retired man. He had finished up a particular career. And that was when the fame of McDonald's started. There's no way around us that you will not see stories of people that started late, or that reinvented themselves, or that started fresh. And guess what? There's nothing you cannot start fresh. Today, if you decide to go back to school and earn a degree, you can. Today, if you decide to go back to school and become a lawyer, whether you are 70 years old and you are listening to me, you can. You are the only one that can stop yourself. So that's key word that I want you to know, is that you, now with God on your side, if you yourself by yourself, you now have God at your backing. Nothing can stop you.
Unstoppable. Yeah, absolutely. You are unstoppable.
And once you can dream it, my second advice is, if you can dream it, you can have it. The middle point between dream and having it, showing up every day. Need to do. Once you dream it, for you to have it, you must show up every day and work on that idea.
Show up
One day you will have it.
Show up every day. Sometimes I'm tired. I'm like, I don't
show up every day, no matter how small.
Content. You have to show up every day. That's very important.
Show up every day. Show up every day. Even if it is 30 minutes. Work on that idea. Even if it's 30 minutes.
Wow.
Even if it's 1 hour.
Wow.
You have a paid job. You have something you're doing from 9 to 5 and you finish all your chore. Work on that dream. Show up on that dream daily. That is what is required, though. Don't let a day pass by working on that dream, because every day you work on it, it unfolds a new chapter for you. It's like onions. You unfold a new chapter. The dream will become solid. It will become clearer. And don't forget, lastly, write the vision down. Write the vision down. Get a big notebook. Put your name on it. Every day when you are working on that dream, write the vision down on that notebook. 5 years later, 10 years later, the book, you will know that you have done it.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very, very much, Jumoke. In fact, I don't know how, if we paid for this session, I think it's even worth it, because I have to unpack it later. By the way, I'm going to upload it on my YouTube page, so we can also go through it later. So please, do you have questions? Please raise your hand if you have questions, please. You have questions? You can type it, or you can type it, or you can raise your hands, please. Any questions? Sorry. Does anyone want to ask any question or comment or further encourage us before we close for today? We will try to make this a monthly affair. I can't see anyone asking questions here.
Yeah, somebody have something to say. I think he's in the chat.
Okay, let me see. Please just type it.
Olufumilayo.
Okay, please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sister.
Good evening. I just want to say a very, very big thank you for this session tonight. I really don't know how to say thank you. Truly, if we had paid for this, it would have worth every penny. I thank you so much for the vulnerability, openness, the willingness to share your story, because I'm also at this point where I've just been asking, like, how do I begin again? How do I begin to reinvent myself? I lost a lot, and I've been asking, just been feeling like I need to break out of this. God has been telling me arise and shine, but I don't know how to do it. I've just been a place where I've just been feeling so stuck. Session has really given me hope. And I just love you so much, ma'am. Madam Jumoke, thank you so much. Your life is truly an inspiration. And hearing your journey, hearing your story, everything that you shared, is more or less like just giving prophetic words. And the powerful thing for me was just when you said going back to the word and finding your identity. And honestly, that just nailed it for me, because it's our identity when we know who we are, and we backing up with the word, what God has said concerning us, it just gives us that strength. And so I think that's just what I've just been searching for. That's what I've been looking for, to just know how to where I am. And thank you so much. I in the power of our conviction, the power of consistency, showing up, everything has just been so much like still go back and just unpack a whole lot of things. I don't have I believe like every question in my heart has know that even when I catch on the replay, I'm still going to hear a lot of things that I didn't even hear again tonight. So I just really want to thank you so much, ma'am, for putting the session together. And I also want to say that, before I even got to know that I am Coach Mo, you are the first person I have a purpose. You are the very first person way back into 2018, before God ever told me that I had a purpose for women. I already started following you, I'd already started listening to you, and you started giving me clarity. And interestingly, some of the things that you taught me back then were things that God has started showing me even when I found out my purpose. So everything about tonight is just a reinvention for me. So thank you so much, and God bless you. God bless you so much.
Amen. Thank you very much for that beautiful comment. Thank you. And I'm glad for how far you've come. I know that, yes, sometimes it might be like it's slow to come to pass, the vision and all of that. But don't worry. I'm sure that, with just a matter of time, very soon, you'll be on this platform too, sharing your story, and people will learn from you, and people will be like, wow, see what God has done for you. So thank you for also being consistent and being persistent and wanting to start this journey. Okay, please, I saw another question there that while one is waiting for one's vision, what do you do before the vision comes? Yes, someone asks that question. Jimmy.
So should I answer that question?
Yeah, sure.
Before the vision come, there's something you are doing again, maybe your 9-to-5 job. Keep doing it and be committed and be a very good worker. There's this saying, whatever your hand finds to do, do it well. And there's another scripture that says, I being on the way, The Lord help me.
Hmm.
Most of us, when we are employees,
Hmm.
we are not dedicated workers. We are not committed. Boss cannot, when you tell your boss that you are going, your boss cannot be begging you and be saying, Joe, my law, Joe, my law. Your boss will say, good riddance to bad rubbish, because you have just been gathering up and taking up space. Everybody's got a vision, but that vision is not going to come to you until you are ready, until you have proved yourself that for to whom much is given, much is expected. He said, if you are committed and faithful with a little, when God gave out talents, he gave one to somebody, he gave 5 to 10 to somebody. It is according to their capacity. And when they proved themselves, what happened? He added to it. Many of us are waiting for vision, and we are somewhere now. Either as an employee, you are working for somebody, you're helping, or you are volunteering. Do you know you can volunteer? Why you're waiting for your vision? Whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do it to the extent that when you say you are leaving, they will be begging you. I remember the last place I worked before my vision started opening. When I told my boss I was going, give me, Jumoke, only low, why is it low, Joe? Say you give me 3 months, say you give me 4 months. Because if you turn on me, he said turn on me, manje. The things that want me to do, I go and look for it and I do it myself. The department that they did not put and give me, but why? Because I was passionate. I wanted to learn everything about, and guess job. Let me shock you another thing. Do you know that job I've ever done? I was not qualified for it. I have never used my certificate one day. Immediately I became manager of food co. The same food co.
Wow.
I worked to the extent that when I came back from service here, and I went to Mrs. Bash, and she was, before I came back, she was calling and begging, when I came back, I was giving her my terms. When I left food co, I went to work for this, my boss. For every place I have worked, either as manager or as a supervisor or as a secretary in school, they were just things that they gave it to me to try, and I gave it all my best, and I became a master. And then my clients would be asking me, I remember when I was working at my last job, my clients would come and say, which part of engineering did you? And I'm like, sorry, I did not even do engineering. Why? I will follow the drillers to the site. I'll go and learn what they are doing. When I'm free, I'll go to the accountant office. I'll go and learn what he's doing. Accountant went on 3 months vacation. I took up the job of accountant for the company. I will go to the driller. I will learn. I'll go to the geophysical survey. I will learn. If I'm talking to clients, at some point, my boss stopped talking to clients. When we workers, when we have to go to meet, secretary to go and meet, when we had a big government project, my boss never went for one day. I was pregnant for twins, and I was going to meetings. I was climbing steps in the secretariat. Why? Because I proved myself worthy. It was begging me. He was paying me salary. He was begging me. After I left my boss, 3 years after, he came to me and called me and said, Jumoke, we have an exhibition in Port Harcourt. You are the only one that I can send to that exhibition that my mind can be at rest. Lead my team. After leaving the work for 3 years.
Wow.
He said, I will pay every expenses. I'll put you in an hotel. Come and lead my team to Port Harcourt. I followed their team. I have left that place 3 years. Why? When I was there, that I did not have a vision. What he gave me to do, that I was collecting salary for, I did it like it was my own. The same thing I did when I was in food co. Come into our office and trained me. And I hit the ground running, and I pushed beyond what he could not do. What all our managers could not do for months. I worked there for only 4 months. I hit all the targets. I got my leftover target. I got every target. And he increased all the targets for the 4 months that I was there. And I was eating it.
Wow.
Customers will come in at 3. They will say they want 150 donuts by 3. 1 hour, I will say yes. I will go to the kitchen. I'll join the kitchen staff. I gave all. While you are waiting for your vision, whatever your hand finds to do. Well.
Wow.
It is I being on the way that the Lord will help you.
Amen. Absolutely. I can't even add anything to it. This is so, it's like we should not even end this session. We should not even end it. I see Coach D saying that she would love to share a story. Please, we are having this monthly. I have a lineup of guests. So I want every woman to share their story. We are here to help one another, so that you know that you are not alone. Whatever stage you are at your journey, somebody is there that is in this group, that is there. And then you will hear their story, you'll be encouraged, and then you learn from what they did too. So please, let's hold on. If there's no other question, because I want to release, or I want to share my screen for those of you that might be interested in my offering. I offer a clarity call. If you want a clarity call, if you're interested in getting more clarity about what is going on in your life, and you feel like, okay, you need someone to help you shed more light and give you, some sort of roadmap, I offer clarity session. So I said, let me plug what I'm selling. Yes, Ghost Club. I think this is actually my most popular product. It's been running for 7 years. I have a 67-year-old woman on this. She's been there for 5 years. She's the most consistent. Today she has sent a review for the month of March for first quarter. It is very effective. This is what you get. So if you need help achieving your goals, or you keep setting goals and you're not meeting them, join Goals Club. It's a monthly subscription. Okay. I also offer strategy sessions. So 2 hours of intense brainstorming with clear deliverables. So we are going to work on your project or whatever it is you have, or your goals or your idea. I'm going to help you flesh it out, give you a roadmap, and let you hit the ground running. It's part of what I do, and I've been doing it for 8 years also. And finally, this one. Okay, I think where's my tech babes? Goodness. Okay, so yeah, this is a new initiative.
Is there?
Oh, did you see tech babes? Okay, it's in the link. I dropped the link in the
Tech babe is there. Tech mom is there too.
Okay, good. So Tech Moms basically.
Tech mom is there.
Yeah. Tech Moms Club basically is for women. Okay, let me just share a bit story about Tech Moms Club. Because of my experience in tech, I feel that my children should not go through what I went through. And so I decided that, look, I'm going to create an opportunity for my children to have options. My children will not finish university and then we'll be competing with CD on the street with makeup and gilly. When they are mates all over the world, they must be able to compete globally. So with what I know, I must be able. So I'm on a journey too. I just want women that also want to be on that journey, to see options, because all the things I'm learning, I didn't know them. And we'll just make the mistakes of our own parents and say, okay, just go to university, go and read law, medicine, engineering, or whatever, or do industrial. We'll spend millions in private university, go and do international relations, that they will still eventually go and be selling wig with it. So there are so many opportunities in the tech world that our children, we can guide them. So this is not, you can say it's free, it's not a fee, just a community of women who want to have exposure, because before you guide your child, you must know exactly what is going on. So basically that is what it is. I can't remember why I put let me see if I can get the flyer for Tech Babes. So no, Tech Babes now are women that are into tech themselves. I already have a group. It's a thriving 70-member group that is thriving. We take deliberate steps toward building a tech career. I share courses. I try and guide people. I have a paid package for one-on-one coaching and all of that, but I'm not even talking about paid now. Just join the community, know what is going on, because it's part of reinvention. If you say you want to reinvent yourself, you don't even know what your options are. So I'm not saying everybody must be into tech or everybody must be, but you can just see something that will be useful for you. I started this journey 4 years ago and I've never, ever regretted it. I have people that have come under me and they're earning Forex now. you know, so, but if I had not told them, or even in me today, if I had not ventured, I wouldn't know. I'll still be struggling to get publishing clients here in Nigeria. But now I've opened the door of the world to myself. I know where to get to go to that and get jobs. I know the courses I need to do. I know the skills, high-paying skills that they are looking for all over the world. They don't need your certificates. What you need is a skill. So really, I'm very passionate about this because I'm like, there's a lot more that women can get into than what we're doing right now. So if you're interested, all the links are there. You can just click on them and then we'll be good. So thank you for joining me tonight. I want us to make this a regular thing monthly, please. I'll try as much as possible. If it's possible, on some months, if it's not possible, I'll let you know. But as much as possible, I want us to do it every month, to come together like this and listen to our reinvention stories and encourage one another, lift one another up. And who knows, God can even, you know, do beautiful things, big things amidst us with collaboration. So thank you very much for attending. I appreciate everyone that showed up today, and especially people that came early. I'm so in love with you. God bless you. Jumoke, God bless you. Are you still there?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm right here.
God bless you. Thank you very much for honoring this invite. I don't take it for granted. I know it's not just because you're a nice person like that. It's not just because you're my friend. Thank you for sharing your story. Even me, the part I've not heard today, I heard it and I'm like, wow. I'll go and listen to it again. So thank you very much. I don't know.
Let me leave this scripture that helped me a lot.
Okay.
But let me just leave this one that everybody needs to read every day. Psalm 139.
Okay. Psalm 139.
The whole chapter.
Okay. Okay.
There's so many other ones, but let me just leave that one with everybody tonight. Psalm 139.
Okay.
Beginning to the end.
Okay.
Read it in different
what version? Okay.
Yes. Read it in Message, read it in Passion, read it in Amplified, read it in different version.
Okay, I've noted it. Thank you so very much. I hope next time we'll call you, you'll be, and then you of course join us for subsequent editions of Reinvent. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm going to bring everyone here one day. I'll just inbox you and say, look, we need you to join. Come and share your story with us too. We want to learn from one another. We want to hold each other's hands on this journey. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant Easter. I love you. Yes, if you need to rewatch, please, my YouTube page, Moyofade Padiola, please. I'll upload it immediately with page. So you can have a rewatch or share it with women that are not here tonight and you feel they need to hear this story. Thank you very much. Good night. Enjoy your Easter. Let's meet here again next month. Watch out for my pages. The flyers will be out. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a great evening. Love you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Love you. You can unmute and say hi. Say bye-bye. Say, tell me you love me if you love me. Tell me you hate me if you hate me.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Session. Very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for staying tuned.
God bless you.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Love you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.